at UNRWA. We begin with the news headlines. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) says organized foreign fraud syndicates are escalating or establishing cells in Nigerian cities. Nigerian Immigration Service arrests hundreds of illegal immigrants involved in fraudulent activities across in southwest of the country. Nigerian Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, acknowledges that the recent withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali from ECOWAS has increased the security burden on Nigeria's militaries. Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we bring you the news in detail.
For deeper analysis on security situation in Nigeria and beyond, watch.
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC), Ola Olukoyade, says organized foreign fraud syndicates are establishing cells in Nigerian cities and recruiting youth into serious organized cyber crimes, including cryptocurrency fraud. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale said this in a statement on Thursday in Abuja. According to the statement, Olukoyede said this while we're receiving participants of the Executive Intelligence Management course of 18 of the National Institute for Security Studies, NISS, on Wednesday in Abuja. He said the team was led by the Institute of Director of Studies, Hyginus Ngele, to commission Olukoyade's to commission. Olukoyede expressed surprise at how bandits and insurgents were able to sustain their activities in the country over the years. He noted with concern the rate of flow of small arms and light weapons across the border and the involvement of non-state actors in illegal exploitation of minerals in parts of the country. The EFCC boss said all these activities compounded the threat in the security landscape. He said the commission also discovered that some of the foreigners arrested were already ex-convicts in their countries. The Nigerian Immigration Service says it arrested 378 illegal immigrants involved in fraudulent activities across Ogun State in southwest Nigeria. A statement released in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, said the suspects were apprehended at their hideouts during a joint operation by officers of the Ogun State Command and Zone A headquarters in Laba, Ajuwon, Akute areas of the state. The controller of the state command, Mohammed Akadiri, said the operation followed credible intelligence reports on the activities of illegal immigrants. He said after profiling the suspect, the service discovered that 334 of them are Cameroonians, 27 Ghanaians, 26 Benin's, and 1 Togolese. They consist of 251 males and 125 females, all between the ages of 25 and 30. He explained that none of the arrested persons had valid travel documents or residence permits. Akadiri further stated that the Controller General of Immigration, Kemi Nadab, had directed that all necessary procedures be followed to ensure the illegal immigrants were sent back to their countries of origin. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has said that The recent withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has significantly increased the security burdens of Nigeria's military. Speaking at the first quarter meeting with branch chiefs, all officers, commanding and commanders in Abuja, Abubakar noted that the withdrawal had disputed regional security frameworks, particularly affecting multinational joint task forces and MNJTF. He warned that with Chad also considering withdrawal, the MNJTF's capacity to conduct joint operations would be further weakened, placing greater responsibilities on Nigeria's military. Abubakar stressed the need for a more robust, agile, and adaptive response from the Nigerian Air Force to fill the security gaps left by the departing states. The air chief also highlighted the growing threat posed by extremist groups in the Sahel, warning that Al-Qaeda afflicted terrorists were explaining or exploiting weak governance structures to expand their influence on Nigeria's internal security. Abubakar commended the progress made in counterinsurgents operations in Northeast and Northwest in 2024, citing improved collaboration between Air Force and ground troops. The Chief of Army Staff, COAS, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has pledged to improve the welfare of Nigerian soldiers by increasing allowances, expanding access to affordable housing, and enhancing service conditions. Speaking during his official visit to the 81 Divisional Area of Responsibility in Lagos, where he was received by the General Officer Commanding Major General Farouk Mijunwa, and the Army Chief announced 100% increase in field allowances, raising daily payments from 1,500 naira to 3,000 naira. The Army Chief also revealed that housing projects for soldiers are expanding nationwide, with new developments in Ibadan, Jos, Port Harcourt, Owerri, and Akwa Ibom, following the completion of the first set of units in Abuja last December. To provide additional financial relief, General Oluyede said they have instituted a low-interest loan scheme for personnel, offering credit at just 3% interest, significantly lower than commercial bank rates. Beyond welfare, General Oluyede emphasized the need for discipline and interagency cooperation, warning against conflict with other security forces. The National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) has appealed to the Inspector General of Police Kayode Ebetukun to rescue the abducted female student of Josephine Sawon Tako University, Makurdi, Benue State. NANS National Public Relations Officer Samson Adeyemi made the appeal in a statement on Thursday. The female students of the engineering department were reportedly abducted on the university campus while returning from a night reading. The university management has since ordered the closure of the school. Sources within the institution told newsmen that the armed abductors stormed out of a nearby bush and kidnapped the student. Reacting to the abduction, Adeyemi described it as barbaric and a dent in the security architecture of the country. He expressed displeasure towards audacity of the abductors to carry out the act on the campus. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Abetekun, has ordered the immediate deployment of intelligence response team to ensure the safe rescue of Afifering youth leader Prince Eniola Ojajuni, who was kidnapped on February 17, 2025, while traveling to Abuja. He also directed the team to prioritize Ojajuni's safe rescue. In a statement released in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer Oluyemi Adejobi assured citizens of the police commitment to securing Ojajuni's release by deploying all necessary resources and expertise. Adejobi urged Nigerians to stop sharing unverified information about the incident on social media. And that's it for the news today. Let's go on a short break, and when we return, newspaper and press review continues. Do stay with us.
For deeper analysis on security situation in Nigeria and beyond, watch Third Eye Africa TV.
Welcome back. Today in the studio we have our in-house analyst. He is one of our very, very, very popular in-house analysts. We have Mr. Udo Utefia, and he's going to be joining me on the newspaper review. But before we bring him forth, let me take the newspapers. Lagos Assembly crisis, Obasi Merenda claims speakership. Ousted leaders resumed presides over plenary with 4 members. That sees legislators insist removed speaker gone impairs betrayal of democracy, says Atiku. And that's on page 4 on Daily Trust newspaper. And still on Daily Trust newspaper, page 5, we have after 21 months, Buhari relocates from Daura to Kaduna. And still on Daily Trust, ACF, NACCIMA, CAC re-echo concerns over tax reform bill, and that's on page 3. And still on Daily Trust, banned B customers not paying enough for electricity, and that's the minister on page 19. Moving over to leadership, and leadership also has the Obasi stage comeback as Lagos speaker, and DSTV, and that's on page 4. DSTV Go TV maintain current prices. FCCPC direct multi-choice. That's on page 20 on leadership. Ramadan Muslims look out for the new moon, and that's on page 14 of the leadership newspaper. And we have the Nation's newspaper here. Minister disclose failure to invest drawback to electricity supply. And we have telecom traffic hike necessary to save jobs, sustain economy, and that's on page 2 on the Nation newspaper. Federal government to clear pension backlog in 3 months. That's on page 3. And we have page 3, still on page 3, Natasha seeks transparent investigation by Senate panel. And that's still on page 3 on the Nation newspaper. And we have the last newspaper here with us is the Blueprint newspaper, still on the reverse story. Obasi leads 4 lawmakers at plenary, insist he remains rather. And we have FG states LG shares 1.73 trillion January, and that's on page 6. And we also have here on page 8 on the Blueprint, 4 trillion naira debt owed Gencos discourse crippling our power sector, and that's from the minister. And moving over to our analyst, Mr. Udo Utefia. You're very welcome, and thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the Lagos Assembly crisis. Although Obasi was removed for allegedly gross misconduct and abuse of office on January 13, 2025, and Merenda elected as the speaker, Merenda has undergone some pressure to vacate the office following President Tinubu's alleged displeasure with the removal of Obasi. What do you have to say with the drama unfolding in Lagos Assembly?
Okay, a drama in the Lagos State House of Assembly tells one thing, and that is the fact that the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly are tired of the former speaker. I choose to still call him the former speaker because he was officially impeached. And so far, the members have not come back to say that they've reinstated him. So he was impeached when he was abroad.
Yes.
It shows that the members are tired of Speaker Obasa. And you recall that this man has been speaker for close to 10 years now. And in Nigeria, I don't think anybody, any House of Assembly across the country has retained a speaker for that long. And usually the politics of the state is played in such a way that if the governor is from a particular constituency, maybe in the east of the country, the speaker, who is the kind of the next in the political line, will come from another constituency. But in the case of this, we'll discover that Obasa had been there for that long period. And so the members, like a kind of got tired of him and decided at that time to get rid of him and to elect the deputy, Mirinda, who was then deputy, to succeed him. And from what we now learned, it appears that the powers that be, the presidency or the president, is not happy that it was removed. Okay, we want to agree with analysts that it comes from, that's Obasa.
Yes. Comes
from a side of Lagos State that commands a large population of voters. That is the Lagos East constituency. That's where it comes from. And that is where you have a large population of voters. And so they want to manage it in such a way that he, of course, is being recognized, that is Obasa, is recognized as a grassroots politician, mobilizer. So they want to manage it in such a way that he is not just being thrown out of the system.
Exactly.
And from there, he might decide to work against the ruling party. I think that is what I can understand there. But from what is happening, I think having been a speaker for that long, if the people say they don't want you again, you can stay because you were not elected as speaker. You were elected as a member. It's your colleagues that now elected you as a speaker. So if they now say that they want another person to be their speaker, I think you should go along with them and not to do as if speakership is your birthright. So Obasa, I think, should be able to come down and accept his fate and allow a new speaker to take over the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Okay, so with the president's displeasure, do you think it's more like a political arrangement that he stays for 2027 election? So, like you said, he said he's a grassroots leader.
Yes.
So is this some kind of strategy to keep him in the assembly despite just 4 people showing up in his plenary and 26 not showing up?
Yes, I think you are correct. The president wants a situation where it should remain. Because, if you recall, you know that in the 2023 election, President Tinubu lost in Lagos State, where he comes from, where he had been a governor, where he has supporters. He lost to the Labour Party. So if now a situation arises that the fate of the president in 2027 will again be put to test, if he would want to begin to do something in order to ensure that whatsoever may want to affect his political fortune in 2027 would be nipped in the bud. And this matter is one of them. But I should want to also think that if the members, imagine in the House of 30, only four came along with you, it really shows that the people are tired of you, irrespective of what the president may say. I do not know what the presidency may do or what the powers that be may do to convince those other 26 to go along with him. And if they are convinced, they will not be happy. It will be a kind of piece of the graveyard. They will just be there and they will not go along with you. In mind, they will not be with you. They will just say because these people said it should be. So you will not command the respect of your people. And these are people that look you to and say they don't want you again. So you should, where things work. In fact, you don't need to be impeached. You should resign and allow peace to reign in the house. Yes.
Okay, moving over to the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, relocating to Kaduna from Daura. What do you think has propelled, and what do you have to say on that issue?
I don't know what has informed former President Buhari's decision to relocate from Daura to Kaduna. You recall when he was leaving office, he told everybody that he's going back to his home state, his place in Daura. So now, after how many months?
21 months.
He has decided to, I don't know what has informed that decision. But I think it's good for him. It's good for him that he should come out and be closer to where things are happening. Exactly. Because you recall former President Buhari was head of state in the 80s. When he left power, he retreated to Daura. You hardly heard of him. You hardly saw him. You hardly comment on anything. The only time he now came out was when the ban on politics was lifted, and he wanted to contest the president or the presidency. So that was the only time you now started to see him. And I think as a former president, you have the wealth of experience. As former head of state, you have a lot to tell Nigerians. You have a lot to contribute to the development of Nigeria. So you should be like other former presidents, like former President Obasanjo, like former President Goodluck Jonathan, like former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar, and all these other ones. You see them everywhere, within Nigeria, outside Nigeria, making their contribution, giving the benefits of the wealth of their experience to the people, that when they were in power, this is what happened, and this is how things should be. So Buhari should not just retreat to a corner, and you don't hear anything from him. I think he's coming out and relocating to Kaduna at this time is good for him. And it may also be good for Nigeria, because he had been president twice, head of state at one time and elected president at another time.
Okay, moving over to the Senate Assembly, the Senate Assembly here, the banter between Senator Natasha and the Senate President, it's on the Nation newspaper, and it's on page 3 on the Nation newspaper. Natasha is seeking transparent investigation by Senate panel. Do you think there is a case in this, or it's a clear, clean scenario of break of rule, or is there something more to this?
I don't really see a case in this matter, except that maybe the Senate president is trying to prove that he's the Senate president and nobody should stand against him. What really happened? Somebody reported that Natasha refused to move from her seat to a new seat that was allocated to her. And what happened is because some one or two senators of the People's Democratic Party, where Natasha belongs, defected from their party to APC. And if the rules is to be followed, it's the Senate president that is wrong. Because once you defect, the law says the Senate president supposed to have declared your seat vacant to enable election to be conducted in that constituency. And it's because it's benefit, the defection of opposition lawmakers to the ruling party is to the benefit of the ruling party. That is why they don't care. That is why they just overlook the law that says once you defect, once you announce your defection, you should be, your seat should be declared vacant to enable INEC to conduct fresh election into that. If you like, you can go back and contest. That is the law. But what do you see? Once somebody is defecting to the ruling party, they clap hands and the law is overlooked. So I believe that the opposition lawmakers like Natasha is not happy about this. But another thing about movement from a seat to another seat is because he insists that nobody told her officially. You're supposed to have told her before that the day of the sitting that your seat had been changed. Not that you came to the next sitting day, take your seat, somebody is telling you that you don't supposed to sit there. And you try to explain yourself. You raise a point of order. Maybe she wanted to tell the Senate that, look, nobody told me officially that my seat had been changed. Maybe that's what I'm not saying, because they didn't allow her to speak.
Exactly.
The Senate president ought to have given her the opportunity to speak, because we are talking of one among equals. They were all elected from their senatorial district and constituencies to the Senate. So they don't, because you become Senate president should not make you to lord it over your fellow senator. You should hear her out, not to ask the sergeant at arms to walk her out of the Senate. That was not good. So that is why I think she wants transparent investigation. She wants transparent investigation into this matter.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your input. That was really nice. And we look out and we look forward to the investigations at the panel. And thank you very much for joining us here on Third Eye Africa TV. And we're here at your service. Keep watching Third Eye Africa TV.